Okay, so here's the other thing I got for you. All right? I feel like Disney, Pixar animation. The lamp.
The Pixar?
Or whatever it is. What is that?
It's Pixar.
So I love that term, think tank. Think tank. I mean, you know what a think tank is? Like, how's a think tank go, James?
Yeah, you know they got cancel culture nowadays. You gotta watch what you say. It's getting real scary out here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know if I can take the conversation here, but we might as well. It's the Rethink Tank. Looks like you had a little bit too much to think here in the Rethink Tank.
All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining me again. We got a real special episode because I got a legendary friend. You know, one of the longtime friends that I've been around from when we were playing, doing shit in the basement, putting on plays for the wall, or, you know, playing sports growing up. A longtime friend of mine. So I got to thank my guest today, Steve Harper. Thanks for joining me, brother.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it for having me on tonight. Gonna have some fun. I know that.
It took a lot of work to get Steve on here. He was dragging his feet. He wasn't ready for the fun. But the Rethink Tank's a threat, and we're always coming to punching. So
we're ready, baby.
We're bringing you in. Diggity Duggity Dog Show, baby.
Sluka Radio Show, baby.
Let's bring it in. So what we're starting off with, I gotta get better. Mr. Beast has told me I gotta get better at going right into this. All right, so the question that we're exploring today, that you will get the answer of at the end of the episode, the payoff at the end, we're taking the YouTube cheat codes. You're going to find out the question of the day, who is St. Patrick? But before we get to that, we got to get in the St. Patrick mood. This is the St. Patrick special. We got to get in the mood. What better way than drinking way too much green beer, right, Steve?
A lot of green beer, baby. That's what we got coming today. Green beer. green beer.
And it's going to be a rough day tomorrow when the green leaves.
That's how we celebrate. That's how we celebrate.
The excretion of the green. You're going to see it tomorrow. Anyway, so as you see in front of us, we have our tall boys. The tall boys are now, as they are ranked in front of us, they are ranking what we believe, out of just looking at the label, to be the best to the worst. So I have Miller Lite at the top. These are just your regular domestic gas station. Hoorah, it's a Friday and I'm poor. So Miller Lite, I have as the farthest, what I think will come out as the best. Then I have Coors right behind it on its tail. In the middle, I have Modelo. Then one thing you'll never see me buy is a Bud Light. And I got to tell you, way at the bottom's got to be Milwaukee's best. So, Steve, what are your rankings?
We agree on the worst one. I think all the other ones we're
in contention.
Little different here on. But we'll start at the top of Modelo. I'm a big fan of Mexican beers. Just recently got off of the Corona train, but we're gonna go with Modelo's number one.
Corona was almost in the lineup, but it was just too good for this lineup. I thought,
Which I'm glad you didn't have Corona, because that means I would have had Bud Light number one. Which
really
would have been weird. That's number two, as you'll see here. Bud Light's number two.
Wait, why would have Bud Light gone in front of Modelo if Corona was in it?
If Modelo wasn't in it.
Oh, no, I was saying in addition to. We would have had two Mexicans.
Okay, then Corona probably would have been third on that list. Third on the list. However, everybody in this podcast that's watching this podcast is probably going to be like, Bud Light number two. But Bud Light's my number two. I like it much more than Miller Lite. Miller Lite is three. That's a lot of my best friends. That's what they drink. So I'm kind of forced into that. Maybe that's more of a frequency thing than anything else. Coors Light and Milwaukee Best, I just don't drink at all. I've had a Milwaukee's Best Ice maybe once, twice in college, threw up, never again. So that is my order, and I think I'm going to guess all five correctly.
All right, so Steve, this is how we can assure to you, the viewer, that this is totally randomized. It's just the two of us in the studio, so I'm sure you're thinking like, well, how do we know you don't know what it is? So I went around the corner and poured the glasses. Next to the glasses, I folded up on a little sheet of paper a letter corresponding to what it is. I have right here the map that tells us what letter goes to what beer. Now, Steve is going to go around the corner, who has not seen how I poured them, in what order, what they could be. And they're all green, baby cakes. So he's going to go around the corner, and he's going to check to see, he's just going to grab 2 random ones of the same kind. Bring the slip that corresponds with it. He and I are going to cheers. We're going to take a guess at which one we think it is. And then also, at the end of it, once we have an idea of what they are, we're going to rank which one we think is the best. Then we'll have the big reveal of which one is actually which. So, in light of that, let's get green shits, baby.
Are you really testing me in alcohol, thinking you're going to beat me?
I'm here for the challenge.
All
Because
right,
it's St.
let's
Patty's
do
Day.
it, baby.
This is all for St. Patrick. Blessed be thy Jesus. All right, Steve. So, guys, while we got a moment while Steve's going to the glasses, I hope you know you're ready. Who do you think is going to be the best? Who do you rank as the best? Go to the comments. Let us know. All right. Do you have the little slip that corresponds with it?
Got the little slip right here.
All right. So this is numero uno. Numero uno. Good call. All right. Cheers, my man.
Cheers.
I gotta say, that's a good beer. It's not bad. Watch that be Milwaukee's best. I don't know what to make of this. I forgot I'm supposed to be trying to figure out which one I think this is. It's tough to get a bearing when it's your first one, right? Like, you really need to be able to compare it to something. Do we want to be able to allow each other to change as they... I don't know. Maybe it's once you commit, you commit.
One change, that's it.
One change, that's
change.
it. So you can only switch 2 at the end.
One change, everyone knows the rules.
One change, everyone knows the rules.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
I'm afraid it's Miller Lite. That's my fear. Speaking truly, I'm afraid that one's Miller Lite. So in light of that, no, I got to save this for when one is dank. Like, just... dank in the bad sense. I'm going with Miller Lite, unfortunately. Damn, that's what I was thinking. Damn. And that would explain why it was poo. Yeah. But there was something about the end that just made me, like, they're a little warmer.
You get one change.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to have to be it. Anyway, round 2, baby.
Round 2.
Well, we're setting up the card. All right, guys. Again, you guys told us which one you would put as your favorite. Now I want to know, which one do you think is your least favorite? Go to the comments. You got to do a second comment. Don't just drop one. If you dropped one comment with all the rankings, you got to redo it. You got to do 5 more. You got to do one post that says your favorite. Now another post, that's another comment that says your second favorite, or your least favorite. Best and worst. All right. Anyway, green beer doesn't end. This can't be good.
Oh, this is gonna be fun tomorrow. Some Rubens.
Cheers. I love that you do that. It's not a shot. Jesus Christ. Man down. Now that's Milwaukee's best.
I was just thinking the same thing.
You want to know why? You want to know why?
not-
Because it's flavorless.
Yes, and it's nothing like any of the other light beers. Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light. Not that they all taste the same, but
Bro,
there's
that's
just that.
Milwaukee's.
There's a light aspect to it. I would agree with you. This has to be Milwaukee's.
It's got to be.
Not Milwaukee's best. It's Milwaukee's worst.
Here's the deal, though. Especially compared to the last one, it's not like it's terrible. It just isn't good. You know what? We got to move this over just a tad.
Oh boy.
Which one are you going with?
I agree with you, my man.
All right. Cheers. You ready? Round 3.
That beer sucks.
Yeah, facts. We're making some headway. Let me throw out the tag for us real quick.
Beer number 3.
All right.
Before you sip it, what do you think it is? Just looking at it. I don't care if it's green.
It's tough to tell because, some are darker than others, and that's just based on the color dye. The foam, this could be Coors based on the smell. Clink.
I would agree with you. Based on the smell, that's got to be one of the late ones.
Oh, yeah. 100% going with Coors. 100%. Now, what's crazy is the viewer knows what these are.
I'm at a loss of words. I
You know what, though? This is flavorless enough to be Bud Light. Yo, that aftertaste telling me Bud Light. If your boy got 100%, you gotta smash that subscribe button. Double smash. That's when you smash, you get the subscribe, you get the notification, the bell's going ding, ding, ding. Unsubscribe, double smash. I'm confident, bro. Lame. You saying that tells me even double more. I'm right over there. Bro.
Wanted to preface it before this episode started. He let me know that he doesn't drink beer, so I'm not sure why he thinks he's some expert over here.
I'm the Buffalo Trace guy.
He's a Buffalo Trace expert, I will say that.
When you go to Creekside, that's where you get the best bourbon treatment. You go there on a Wednesday, get a flight, man. That's where you gotta go. That's why I'm hooked on the bourbon.
Beef satay appetizer with what?
I don't go off on much, but for real, the beef satay is the greatest thing you'll ever have. This is not sponsored by Creekside yet, but the reality is you need to go and get the beef satay. Quite literally one of my favorite things on any menu. But in light of that, moving forward, you've got your guess. You went with Miller. I think that was a sad choice. You ready for the next
As
one?
I said, I don't like Miller, folks. It's beer time.
Beer guy! Beer guy! I'm never going to hear that again, Steve, because I'm never going to a Guardians game. That doesn't sound heartbreaking to anybody?
How sad in that you have a lot of people who feel the same way. Myself somewhat included in that.
But you're still going to sell out and go to a game.
Not yet. Not this year. It will not be this year. Baseball is my favorite sport at heart. Probably my best sport. Growing up, playing it. It's America's pastime too, baby. This is one of the best countries on planet Earth. I like to think it is the best most of the time. Right now we're going through some crap, but we'll prevail at some point.
We always will.
And
Why?
It's America, land of the great.
Why are we going to prevail? We're going to prevail because we're out here rethinking, Steve.
We're rethinking.
We're having a discourse.
We got patriots in this country. That's why we're gonna regroup.
Cheers to that. To the Patriots. We're all one tribe, guys. We're on the same team.
Cheers to the Patriots for getting Jarvis Landry. Guy's a Cleveland native. However, go Browns at the end of the day.
Here's the deal. We get rid of Baker. I can't wait to cheer against Baker. Jarvis, I will root for that dude no matter what team he's on. So it's looking like I'm going to enjoy some Patriots games.
You're getting smoked. I got all 5 of these right.
Yeah, I mean, this one is Coors Light. Shit. Boom. I'm going to resurrect it right here. I'm going to switch that Coors with that Bud Light. Boom, I'm resurrecting that like a phoenix. Still getting the 5 for the double smash. If Steve wins, you have to comment, go rethink Tank.
Go rethink Tank. And come see me at Creekside.
You got to try and order the beef satay. Tell him Gergat sent you.
What's the happy hour price?
6 doll hairs. You just cut like an American Girl doll head. Get like 6 hairs.
6 doll hairs for some beef satay, baby.
Which on a regular day you get 4 strips, $12. 13 actually. So if you go happy hour, you get some of that sexy bourbon, beef satay. You're happy. All right. Happy. All right. Right. Hey, I think Modelo's on its way. You think? I think Modelo's on its way, dog.
That means 2 of the 5 we have agreed on.
Well, we both either got the same thing wrong, or we've got strong competition here.
Can I pose a question to the crowd?
To the think tank. Throw it to the tank.
At this point, who do you folks think is more correct? Obviously, you probably...
Yeah, now at this point, again, you've just been dumping comments, right? This is like your 8th comment. Now you're going to the comment section. I want you to know, before we go into round 4, who do you think is the most right? What are your guesses so far? Actually, they don't have guesses because they know what the friggin' answers are.
I was just about to say, I'm assuming they probably have this in front of them.
Wait,
so if they do have this in front of them,
that's a dumb question.
Then I'm going to take the question back. However, what they're doing right now is just laughing at you because they go, Steve's right, Steve's right, Steve's right, Steve's right. They're both going to be right on the last one.
Dude, you lost on the first beer. They all are laughing going, wow, Steve's got this false sense of confidence. From the first beer, he's been wrong.
Let's find this out.
All right. Round 5. Oh, my God. I'm feeling it at this point. Cheers to the boys. To Jarvis. Bless him, Juice. Dude, it's been so fun this short period recently, just like watching all the moves the Browns are making. Like, I'm so excited.
I want them to do well, and I hope that the fans can understand why certain things need to be done. We have a very good offensive line. We have very good running backs. Our defense pretty solid when you go look at some statistics. Receivers this year were pretty good. I think some drama-filled stuff maybe is why we got to the point that we were at. Also, still skeptical on Baker. That's me personally. I understand.
For sure.
I understand the Baker lovers.
But we got to agree what we're doing to Baker right now isn't right. You can't have him in the dark making all these moves. I mean, they're headlines. And while I wouldn't be surprised if the move they're trying to make is to get another first round or a starter quarterback and make them compete against each other. But that still isn't fair to have Baker finding out about all of this from headlines, right? Like, the cutoff of communication isn't right. So you got to ask yourself, is it because he burned a few bridges with his personality and the administration is done with his ass? Or are we run by a shitty administration and they are terrible at managing a team? I wouldn't be surprised if it's a combination of the two, but if I had to put my money on something, a 30, 40-year track record says it's probably the administration.
I couldn't agree with you more. I've just kind of said that behind closed doors a lot, that I think it is the owner. Listen, when it comes to any business outside of sports, outside of it doesn't. Let's go trucking industry, since to what our other owner, our current owner owns is Flying J. Flying J. It starts at the top. It starts at the top. That's where everything starts. It starts at the top. They show by example. They show by leadership. They show by everything that they do. It starts at the top, and that's where it needs. Haslam needs to hire the right people. It seems like from certain times he hired the right people to draft the right people, but then when certain leadership things aren't happening throughout the entire organization, you see what happens. Baker thinks he's better than some people sometimes, and now you get some egos involved. OBJ's dad gets involved, and now look where everything happened, right? So let's try and keep ego out of it.
The reality is that's the biggest struggle the Browns have had. The reality is the Browns need to focus on the locker room more than what's on the field. What shows that is when you have an Avengers movie-looking roster and you can't make it happen, that means a lot of what's going on off the field is having a bigger effect than what's on the field. So all of that being said, we have finished our lineup here. We got Modelo. We are in agreement with. I think this is clearly Modelo, right?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. This has to be Modelo.
I'm making one move, and after getting some, getting my bearings and getting some perspective, I'm switching the Coors and the Bud Light. Now we're in total agreement, except for are you switching any, Steve? So it's going to come down to one beer, unless we're total dummies. Right?
This could turn out to be weird. Total dummies here, man. This really could. I'm hoping it turns out that we're geniuses, and I'm going to be 5 out of 5.
This layout confirms for me that was Miller Lite. They know. I know. Steve don't.
So now you're saying they're laughing at me.
Thanks. If you're laughing at Steve, go to the comments and drop a ha-ha.
Or laughing.
All right. You ready to find out?
Have any of you used the pregnant man yet emoji?
Yeah,
Just
that's my
trying
favorite.
to figure out. I heard they got launched the other day. That's pretty wild. I'd love to see an actual picture of a pregnant man.
It's because your emoji keyboard clearly doesn't trust the science.
Speaking about science real quick, not to get political and COVID talk again, because it seems like COVID's kind of gone, right? Now that
It's gone.
something in Ukraine's happening, COVID doesn't exist.
It's
However,
gone.
I've been saying this to one person in my life, and I'm trying to figure this out. I'm going to say it to the second person, and now anybody else who
And
might
now
be watching.
the think tank.
Why is my science, our science, the only science that hasn't changed in 2 years now? 2 years. My science did not change. Everybody else's science.
Wait. Why is the science different in New York than it? And we're gonna get to that. Why is it different in New York than it is in Ohio?
And the thing is, the science that I was reading from the start is the science that exists currently. So everyone was telling me that I'm a murderer because I wasn't
Grandma
wearing a mask,
murderer,
or I wasn't jabbing myself with something that I don't trust.
killing
yet.
grandmas.
Yeah. And they're calling me all those names, and all of a sudden their science now matches my science. So whose science changed and whose science stayed the same? It seems our science stayed the same the whole time, and now all of a sudden everyone's realizing their science was wrong, but they won't accept that they were wrong. And that's kind of where I feel we're at the moment in society.
Couldn't agree more. And the saddest part is it is politically driven more than it is science-based, socially based, welfare-based. It's all control-based. So when you hand over a little bit of control, they're not going to want to give it away.
Jingle a carrot.
Exactly. Listen, you're never getting your shoes back on to go on an airplane. Never happening again. You gave up a little bit of your rights, and you're never giving them back. And you, the think tank, sitting there listening to this, you're going, ha, that's nothing. I'm willing to do that. It only costs me a half hour before I get on my airplane. The reality is, though, that's where it starts. You move the goalpost, you get used to it. Then tomorrow it becomes something else. Then the next day it becomes something else. So it is amazing. How about this one? Live in this... Dude, we got to save this for when we get to the middle ground, the middle gap conversation. But what's been blowing my mind, and I'm going to say it, it does seem like now masks aren't required anywhere. It's a joke. Laugh, laugh, ha, ha, ha. It's politically driven, but I'm also noticing, and I've noticed this for a while, though, it's kind of racially driven. Like, not to lie, but if you're white, you're more likely not wearing a mask. Now let's get back to the heart of the point I want to make. All the people wearing a mask right now, clearly choice, that's fine. I want to give you the choice to wear a mask. All I ask is that you give me the choice to not wear a mask. We should all have our liberty. Freedom should apply to everybody. You're doing protests to take away my liberty. Your umbrella's open to hide you from the rain. That's fine. Who are you to tell me I need to open my umbrella? It has no effect on you. But the point I want to make, though, Steve, is... Right now, March of 2022, there's a large number of people walking around, masks on, with it beneath their nose. So what are you doing? What are you doing? The question is, are you doing that because you're trying to save your grandma, follow the science, keep yourself healthy, or is it a flag of virtue to other people around you? Because you aren't wearing it right. And it's all fake. We've proven, the science shows that these flimsy, cheap shit... You wear the cheap, shitty mask because, one, it's cheap shit. If it breaks or it's thrown away, it doesn't matter. You forget it, whatever. It doesn't matter. But even more so, they're weak. They don't work. They aren't delivering the outcome you're looking for. So what are you wearing it for besides... I don't know, to virtue signal to everybody around you.
Yeah, let me touch on a couple of points there because you hit it nail on the head. But what you said, the cheap masks. I've thought about this probably for about a year now. Cheap masks. Masks are cheap to some people, not everybody. If we look at a community that is not well off, black or white, it does not matter. It does not matter what color
there's
skin
plenty
they are.
of
it doesn't even matter what part
of
the world they're from. We could go to Japan. We could go to China. We could go to Australia. The cheap parts, the cheap masks, part of it, I understand that masks, they could cost, let's say, a box of them $2. But if we go to parts of the world or country that can't afford that, now that's telling these people they can't be part of society because they're not wearing a mask. They can't afford a mask, and you're telling them they can't be a part of society because they can't afford a mask. That's the whole thing. If I am healthy, I am healthy. That's where it's at. It comes back to, people say, well, you don't know what's in Tylenol and you take Tylenol. You don't know what's in McDonald's hamburger and you eat that. All of those were my choices to do those things. When we get into...
Wait. Time out. Big point that the dummies need to remember. The government has disarmed your ability to hold the creator of the vaccine legally liable for, I don't know, whatever side effects may come down the pipe. So guess what? When you unnaturally grow grotesque man titties from your McDonald's hamburger, you can sue McDonald's for whatever concoction you've given me without proper advertisement. But guess what? The fact that you've legally disarmed my ability to hold you liable, I'm worried. Yeah. Right? I'm worried.
And to put it into perspective there, let's say I take this sip of beer and all of a sudden I get some crazy disease that exists in the world.
Like myocarditis that's going rampant with vaccine.
I could sue, assuming we are correct with our assumption here, Modelo or whoever produces Modelo, we could sue them because they produced a faulty product. Modelo. But when it comes to vaccines, the government has removed any liability from them. I agree with you 1,000%. Why is that happening? Do they not know the side effects yet? Or do they know the side effects and that's why that's happened? Those are the two routes that are super scary to me in the world. Is either they know them or they don't know them, and they're still forcing this upon us. Either way is super scary to me.
I don't know where we go from here. The only thing you do is you can't stop talking about it. If we just got to acknowledge it. You're not going to change the world. You're not going to move a boulder, but you can't stop talking about it.
So regarding COVID, we can't stop talking about it. But for about, let's go 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks, Ukraine and Russia had a big battle going back and forth. Are they going to invade? Are they not going to invade? And then all of a sudden they didn't invade. And what happened? It seemed like for 3 weeks to a month that COVID didn't exist anymore. And that's where I myself look at a lot of issues in the world, and once they're stopped talking about the media, you and I, whoever in the world stops talking about things, what happens? That issue in the world disappears.
Or you know what? Notice the first attack was somebody like Alex Jones. Nobody's jumping up to defend Alex Jones. He's Alex Jones. Brush him off. He's a loser. So first they go canceling somebody's entire existence. Alex Jones. Everybody goes, no big deal. It's Alex Jones. Screw him. Then what do? They turn off a past president of the United States. This isn't just a significant political figure. This is the president of the United States is off of everything. So when you, but then everybody goes, but it's just Donald Trump. He's a piece of shit. He's the orange guy bad. So it doesn't matter. Orange guy bad. Where does it end? The reality is this is how it worked for the poor souls headed on a corral to Auschwitz. These people go, it doesn't matter. It's not me. It sucks, but it's not me. And the viewer doesn't care until it's coming for them. And by the time it's coming for you, it's too late.
Let's take that point. One more comment regarding that point. Donald Trump's Twitter account, I believe, still is banned.
Yep.
Correct? Suspended.
And he's off of Facebook.
Correct. So let's go Facebook,
That's what I'm saying. Off of Instagram.
So we have this leader in a country that's called Russia that you guys all have seen has invaded.
Have you heard of it?
Invaded another country. And guess what happened? You guys are not calling for the suspension of his Twitter account. Or
the Taliban. Why does the Taliban have a Twitter account?
They have sent missiles upon missiles to destroy innocent people's lives, destroy their buildings, their lives, literally
he killed a children's hospital. Trump said mean words. All right. Well, anyway, Steve was getting all upset. He's like, yo, we got to keep this episode tight and short, and we're already creeping up high on it, Steve. So we got to keep a rhythm. All right, so you ready? We got to get back to the first game we started with. All right, so we started with number 1, right? I said Miller Lite. Steve said Bud Light.
I win.
Number 2, we both agree, is Milwaukee's best.
I still win.
That was number 2. Number 3, I said Bud Light. Steve said Miller Lite.
I win again.
Now, you can see it from the back. Both on number 4, we agree, is Coors Light, and both we agree on number 5 is Modelo. I think the audio probably wasn't as clear on that as I would have liked. I apologize. You ready?
Let's do this reveal.
Okay, so let's get to the big reveal. Steve, can you tell me what letter is number 1? They already know the answers. We can.
Letter for the first tasting is C. Looks like Steve might be
Bud
right.
Light.
Is Steve right?
It's Bud Light.
So I think we're gonna go down this list, and Steve nailed them all.
All right, open number 2.
I predicted before.
I'm hoping we're wrong on a couple. I don't know if that brings me back.
I almost hoping we're wrong, dude. Just because I told you before, I'm going 5 for 5. A.
Modelo, dude.
Wow,
Dude!
wow.
That was like water. That one was the most like water. Flavorless, nothing. Mexicans.
So I get one switch.
No, you don't. No, open this one. All right, number 3. What do we got here? Number 3 is probably Miller. You bastard. This one was Milwaukee's best, dude.
Wow. What is going on here? So that means...
Wait, real quick, something that we did forget, it's not the end of the world, it is what it is, but if you can, like, close your eyes and remember which one was your favorite without knowing them. I remember drinking it, it was this one. That one I thought was Miller, but I hate Bud Light, dude, and now I'm happy to know it's Bud Light.
We're going to have to replay your...
Do you remember, the viewer knows, because they can go watch it. When I put it down, I literally said, damn, that one was Bud Light. Damn, that's what I was thinking. Damn. And that would explain why it was poo. Because it was poopy.
But what you said at the beginning, though, you said this one's good, so this one might be this, and then you said you took a couple more sips and you go, actually, I think this one's
to
bad.
me had the aftertaste of Coors. So I'm hoping these 3 were the mix-up and this is Coors because that tasted like Coors to me. What's number 3 or 4? Number 4.
I think we must have this one right, and that last one's Milwaukee's.
I'm thinking.
This is E.
Miller.
Wow. So you went 0 for 5 and I went 1 for 5.
And it was the first one. Because then this one's got to be Coors. Wow, dude. What does that tell you? At the end of the day, they all did have different tastes. I'll concede that. But they're one and the same.
At the end of the day, what it tells me is...
B, yeah, that was Coors. Wow.
You are not a beer drinker, and I'm not a beer drinker, and
let's do a Buffalo Trace taste test next time.
Let's do a bourbon tasting.
This is what we get for being screwed with the Irish.
We'll come back. We'll come back in April sometime with a bourbon tasting.
We come here, we got to play Irish games, and this is what we get. Anyway, Steve, now this is the big stinker that was a surprise for you. You know how we're going to finish this episode?
Yes, sir. No, I don't know, but... Oh.
We're going to take this giant stein, and we're going to make a master pint of all of them.
And I'm going to guess there's a competition after?
Sure.
So that wasn't on the agenda then.
It is now.
It is now. Oh,
but now we got...
this
is the concoction of all 5.
So who drank more beer during the tasting will have a bigger advantage now, and we might not be able to fill these to the top. At least I will. It looks like your beers are a little bit more full than mine.
I don't believe so. Let's see. That's a green beer, dog. All right, so the one little convo that we're going to have to keep short, Steve, we're going to have to keep it shorter than I would have liked, but it's on par for the past few conversations we've had so far. Happy St. Patty's Day, my dude. You won, you skanky hoe. You're the beer guy.
I guess I'm the beer master, baby.
Make sure you keep that thing close. We want to hear your baby. Just whatever you do, your life needs to depend on that not spilling on this. All right. Boom. Okay. So, last topic that we get into the game and get us out of here. Topic. Game. Did you see Kyrie Irving? All right, so this season, he has not been able to play at-home games in New York because of COVID. He did not have the vaccine. Because of New York law, he was not allowed to play. New York law directed at players, not the audience, the fan base that is also in the stadium. It was a law forbidding him from playing at home without the vaccine. No other purpose but to manipulate him and coerce him into getting the vaccine. Now, so many people in society were trashing him at the beginning of this. They go, just take the vaccine. Do your part. What an ass. Kyrie's an ass. And the amount of times I heard that, trashing Kyrie. Kyrie's trash because he is standing up for something he believes. Now, here's what's funny. The regular man, the person who's the mechanic, the person who works at the courthouse, the person who works at a restaurant, the person who just has a regular day job, they are dealing with the same fascist-esque manipulation. Going, you want to feed your family? You want to have a profession? You're going to get the government-issued juice that you can't sue back if it fucks you up and gives you a third eye. So these people who probably otherwise would not have gotten it, you force their hand. They want to eat tomorrow, so they get it. For all the people who called Kyrie an ass and trashed Kyrie for standing up for something he believes, you make so much money, The reality is Kyrie is the only person doing what we, the regular people, wish we could. I didn't get to have my autonomy. My autonomy was stripped from me because I wanted to have a profession. I wanted to feed my family tomorrow. Kyrie had the luxury and privilege of liberty, having the ability to choose what he wanted. That's the luxury he had that none of us had. So when you trash him, I trash you because I don't have to agree with him. I can think the decision he's making is a poor idea. But you should be ashamed for wanting to strip somebody from even being able to make that choice. Now, why do we bring up Kyrie? We've had the whole basketball season. We're coming at the tail end of it. And Kyrie is not allowed to play at home. So the Knicks are playing, and you've got Kevin Durant, his teammate, a team he plays for also, home at New York. Because the polls are in, baby cakes, and the blue people aren't winning. The blue team isn't winning like they wanted. COVID restrictions have pretty much completely disappeared. Even the most fascist, radical blue states we got, like New York. So the fan now has, because we only made these laws to manipulate the player, now the fan has more liberty and autonomy than the player. The fan can come in without a mask. The fan can come in without a vax ID. The fan can enjoy all these luxuries. So what does Kyrie do? As a big FU to New York, and to also continue flexing his muscles of liberty for the rest of us patriots who wish we could, he buys a ticket to the game, goes to the game, sits courtside at the game that he can't play it, daps up his captain and main player, who now is killing his grandma? Like, what? He should be dead of COVID. They dap each other up. They are enjoying each other on the court that he's not allowed to play on. And then even following the game, Kyrie goes into the locker room with Kevin Durant and the rest of the team. There is no logic to this anymore,
He
Steve.
bought
It's a game.
ticket.
You're never getting your shoes back for an airplane, for getting on an airplane. This is how it works.
He bought a ticket. He was a fan like the rest of the other people there. And if it's not required, the restrictions eliminated.
But isn't that funny?
The mandate's gone.
The restrictions don't apply to our wallet, our bank. You know, like the restrictions don't matter to give us our payday. But they do matter when there's a celebrity with a blue check mark who can have social influence. Yeah, no. There's a financial incentive in manipulating his ass.
And part of it too is it comes from ESPN. We got no NFL season right now. We got no MLB season. We're not close to the playoffs for NHL. We're not close to the playoffs for NBA. March Madness is getting close. We're not there yet. And ESPN's like, I need a story. So here we go. He does not have a vaccine. And we're going to ridicule him. Did you ridicule all the fans that showed up without a vaccine? You did not. So that tells the story within itself.
Also, we need headlines to go back to being flowery language. The statement of truth isn't in a sentence. If what you're trying to share is so profound, it isn't manipulated or boiled down to 6 words.
It can't be.
Exactly.
It can't be. Something that has such a profound, large impact on the world. For example, let's go to the $800 million that Biden just gave to Ukraine. A lot of people aren't looking at the big picture of this, which I keep having some conversations with certain people about this, is we're so small picture. If you look big picture, $800 million of aid giving to Ukraine. Okay, so if United States is agreeing to help them out, and we shoot a Russian plane out of the sky, that just started a war between Russia and the United States because of whether it was us or not who shot that plane out of the sky. It ultimately goes back to the $800 million of aid that the United States gave to shoot that plane out. That's World War III. Nobody wants that. What's World War III? Thousands and thousands of United States citizens dying. You can stand with whoever you want, but you got to stand with the United States before you stand with other places. Russia's evil. A lot of things that have happened in Ukraine are also evil, but we go back to the headlines. We're not digging deep enough into the headlines or the articles to realize that everything Ukraine has done has not been perfect.
Right. There's some nefarious stuff going on with the Ukraine, too.
Yeah.
And then you got to ask yourself...
Let me backtrack real quick, just because I want to make a point for the audience to understand that the audience needs to understand the civilians and citizens of Ukraine do not deserve any of what's going on.
Yes.
But you have
just
very
like pause.
evil
You got to make
leaders.
your point. That's why I don't like when people go, when I start shitting on the world arena and they go, well, America did this. Yeah, I don't like that either, man. I understand Obama did the most unmanned drone killings in human history. Not good. Also, not me. So when we go when we exclaim the sins of a nation, we got to understand that that's its own entity, the government, aside from the people. And that's where I think the future, given it, whether it's 100 years, 1,000 years, I don't know what it's going to take. I think with the hyperconnectivity of the internet, it's going to be quicker than we think. But the reality is, once the people of all these governments unite, whether it's just a Discord where we all hop in and but something's going to connect us all where we all go, we're tired of this shit. We need to control ourselves. If you look at the United States, it is 50 separate countries controlled by the safety of one overarching federal government. We're all very different. I hate you, California. You hate me. That's dope. We live together under the same veil of safety. That's all we need. You police yourself. You have your own delusions. New York's not allowed to go to a baseball game or a basketball game without a mask. That's fine. You let us do our shit. So there's a beauty there. We see it at a small scale. You need to continue your point. I just wanted to emphasize that we experience the same thing here in America. I will have the same qualms that I voice here about Ukraine, and it's not about the Ukrainian people. It's about the Ukrainian president. It's about the Ukrainian government. It's about the Democrats and how they're involved with that. That's its own, which is separate from the people. And I don't like 100%. You blowing up the children's hospitals. That's where I have my problem, and I speak up.
100%. 100% nail on the head. I mean, there's no debate there. whatsoever. The world needs to realize that evil does not care about anything in the world. Literally, who's standing in their way? Evil is evil, and they're going to do whatever they need to get through you. If some transgender person stands in front of a Russian tank, I'm telling you, Putin does not care. He's not going to be like, because you're transgender, I'm going to back the tank up and go around you. No, he's going to go through whatever situations in front of him. Right. That's just like these innocent Ukrainians. He doesn't care. These people are business owners. These people are whatever they are over in Ukraine. These people are innocent people. They tried to stand in front of certain tanks, and what happened? The tanks did not care. I did not see the video of them running them over, but the person ended up getting pulled away from his friends because he said they don't care.
Dude,
Evil
what a
does
crazy,
not care. Evil does not care.
What a crazy world we live in, whereas, like, when 300 Romans were pillaged to death and disseminated, like, just completely obliterated, that was disseminated to the people through stories. We live in a time, the first time in human existence, where you are literally experiencing a world war live. You are watching. I mean, what's crazy is we go back to when we were in college, you see some dark web, crazy murder, crazy death, crazy nasty stuff, and you go like, I have PTSD from that. Like, that was crazy. Conversations we've had late night around this table, and somebody would be like, yo, do you see this? You'd be like, oh my God, that was a repressed memory. I never even thought of it. Oh my God, now I'm scarred again. It's crazy how this is that to the nth degree. You are seeing a world war live. This is something you're experiencing in real time. It's incredibly scary for everybody, because the reality is it doesn't matter where the cards of politics lie in this. You could be like, Liz, there's two sides to this. We have our own political advantages through Ukraine. The other side to it, too, is you didn't keep up your end of the deal with NATO and Putin. He has a reason to be pissed. You know what? Let me just explain that real quick, because I just don't want to brush up on that. Real quick. At the beginning of time, when NATO was growing through Europe, it got up to Germany, and Russia was ready for war. You're getting too close to Russia. We're pissed. And so, as a result, what they did was we made an agreement. All right, we promised we're not going to go past Germany. Let us have Germany into NATO. We're not going to get closer to Russia. And there was a clear agreement, and then what do? Then we take Poland, then we take Turkey, and NATO just keeps moving. And take a look at a map, because I know you don't. I saw a TikTok today of a guy going through the streets going, can you point at Ukraine on the map? Nobody could do it to save their life. You'll see, then look at the path I'm talking about. Germany, Poland, Turkey. You'll see that Ukraine is literally the last one. So if you're Russia and you go, wait, we had an agreement, you want to go past Germany, you haven't stopped, and now you're at our border. And you want a country to join you, NATO, which for the last how many decades we have looked at as our own country. Kind of like China looks at Taiwan. We let you think you're your own country, but the reality is you're ours. So it's this weird, it's not like they just took over Japan. Like, this wasn't just a random country. This was the one country that they've gone, this is ours forever. But this is relevant for everybody, and this is provocative and important for everybody. Because the question is, where does it stop? You don't allow them to take Ukraine, and it just ends.
Can I pose a question
just to you? Like you're never getting your shoes back in the airport. You give a little, they take it, they take more. Give an inch, they take a mile.
I'm going to pose this question to you and to the audience of Rethink.
So drop it in the comments.
If you...
Okay. This is like your 10th time commenting by now.
So Russia invaded Ukraine, correct? Yes, that happened. And what happened from the response around the world? Ban Russian products. It started with Russian vodka, which is funny. A lot of these Russian vodkas aren't even made in Russia.
Which has nothing to do with anything. Wait. We ban Russian vodka while we keep buying Russian oil.
Yes. And if anybody wants to do a little bit more research into the whole oil aspect, Venezuela and Saudi Arabia, the reason that they aren't giving us oil for a good price is because Joe Biden, they don't like him very much. And that's the big reason. So we've now exiled the 3 countries who we import oil from.
Wait, real quick, before we move on from the oil, fact checkers, Facebook fact checkers, that it's going to be on the screen here so they can confirm and see it. So the fact checkers, they go... It literally says America has not doubled its Russian imports in the last year of oil. Then it goes down to paragraph 2. Like, okay, so then it gives 2 bullet points explaining fact checker says we have not doubled our imports from Russia. Right? Get to bullet point 2. We have doubled our imports from Russia in 2021, but it only makes up for 3% of our imports. Wait. The comment here isn't whether or not, Russia's oil imports is a significant amount of our imports. The comment is that we doubled it regardless. So you doubled the money you're giving Russia. That's the point. And you fact checked and you lied.
Yeah, and that's all that you need to know about fact checkers is the fact checkers has nothing been around fact. Zuckerberg's admitted that it has nothing to do with fact. He's literally admitted it very, very recently, probably over the past 3 weeks, I think, is when that came out. But going back to my original question I'm going to pose to everybody is...
Drop it in the comments.
We've banned Russian products, whatever that is. I gave the example of vodka, but this has gone more than just vodka.
Dude,
okay?
We've locked their banks. We've we've shut down the ruble.
So this is the question that I pose. If China were to invade Taiwan, okay...
Which I'm surprised they haven't by now.
Sincerely
surprised they haven't done it by now.
They're getting close to doing it. And if that happens...
Dude, they were getting close to doing it 2 weeks ago. Why haven't they done it by now? What's going on?
The question is, are you going to ban Chinese products? Good luck. Good luck. Because if you do it to Russia, why won't you do it to China? Because big picture, you understand
follow the money.
Chinese products. You understand you don't need Russian products until it gets to oil. You need Russian oil, okay? Because we decided not to build this pipeline. So now we're relying on every other country to get us this, and this. Stop relying on other countries and do it ourselves. Also, that pipeline would produce American jobs for the Americans who actually want them. Most of the people are entitled now and don't want a job. They'd rather get paid by the government to sit on their butt and do nothing.
Yeah, sounds about right. You ready for the final game and wrap this bad boy up?
Let's wrap it up.
Steve, what's laughable is we started this the whole podcast. The goal was to figure out who is St. Patrick, and all we did was determine COVID is a baloney, Oscar Mayer wiener, and we didn't get to any of the now. It's question time, and the questions are going to try to investigate who's St. Patrick, but the reality is we're not going to get into it at all. We're going to just barely scratch the surface. Who is St. Patrick? Will Steve know?
I think that I don't, but we'll find out.
We'll find out. I made my leprechaun a little green. I'm going to give you a break, and I'll still beat you.
Yeah, you will.
Okay, Steve. You get a bead every time you get an answer right. You need 5 beads.
What happens if I get 5 beads?
If you get 5 beads, you get one of the Rethink Tank original, sexy, Dr. Fauci, How the Rona Stole Christmas beanie hats. Tell me how hot that quality is. That is sharp.
Let me get a little sample before I'll answer the questions with.
Man, he just gave somebody lice because we know Steve ain't winning.
I for some reason I feel like I'm not winning, so this is gonna get ripped off my head as soon as I lose.
Yeah, give me that. You don't get to.
No. It's a little sample. It's a little sample.
Earn having it, but it's snug, right? This baby's sexy.
Fauci did ruin my Christmas.
Fauci's proud. Dr. Fauci, How the Rona Stole Christmas. That's a sexy hat. You got to.
Sexy hat.
Sexy hat. Anyway,
what comedian got it from you?
Yeah, we went and saw Dave Landau and Ahoy, and we gave him one of the Dr. Fauci hats. He was a big fan. It was a good time. Anyway,
he even in the middle of the comedy show, he looked over at our table and he said, "What are you even laughing at?" And who was laughing? Mr. Alexander Gergat. He said, "What are you laughing at?" He goes, "You're funny."
Anyway, Steve, you ready to see how much you know about St. Patrick?
These will be ripped off very quickly as soon as I lose.
All right, Steve, you ready for the game of the games? All right, first, St. Patrick didn't wear green. His color was...
Yellow.
Damn. Let's get a... It was blue. St. Patrick wore blue. That's what he was known for.
If I was green, I would die. 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 Is that why he's wearing blue? It must be, because if he was wearing green, he would have been
Dead.
If I was green, I would. Funny about that song, real quick though. When I was growing up, I literally thought that the song went bada bee bada ba bada bee da ba ba. Not if I was green, I would die. Sorry, a little insight into my childhood.
No, I'm glad. Okay.
I guess you were part of that childhood too.
The first St. Patrick's Day was celebrated in what state in the United States?
He wants
Think
me
about
to,
this
He wants
one.
me to say Illinois, and I want to
Why?
say Illinois because
Why?
that's the biggest celebration across the country.
Oh, in Chicago.
Yes, for
Okay.
that's why that's where you want me to say, but
You're such a liberal.
I don't think that's the answer, and maybe I'm thinking too much now.
No. Maybe you need to think a little more. Who's celebrating Irish St. Patrick's Day? I want to give you this hat, Steve.
No, wait. Here it goes. It's going to be New York.
Now, what made you go with New York? If we were talking about a Jewish holiday, I'd agree with you. If we were talking about an Italian holiday, I'd agree with you.
Where would immigrants go?
Where would Irish people go, Steve?
Ireland.
Boston, dog!
Ireland. But that's not a state. That's a city. Massachusetts.
You would go to Massachusetts, dog!
Massachusetts.
You would go to Massachusetts!
0 for 2. I thought my first answer was pretty good. If I was green, I would die. If I was green, I would die. As I'm wearing a bunch of green.
But you picked yellow.
Yeah, because why would you pick blue for St. Patrick's Day?
All right. Despite his Irish notoriety, St. Patrick was from what European country?
Repeat the question.
Despite his notoriety. Despite the Irish notoriety, where is St. Patrick from? Pick a European country. I'm going to narrow that shit down.
I'm going to go, and I think I'm going to go England.
Dude, it was Britain.
All right,
That's it. That's the country.
I was going to go England or Britain, but
you got it.
But we got it.
So we're going to give you the first one. This one says St.
Is
Patrick.
it blue or is it green?
It's yellow.
All right. If I was green, I would die. If I was green, I would die. I feel like I should be wearing blue. I feel like I should be wearing blue.
I'm just glad you're in it. Now your back's against the wall, dog.
When
Now
do I
you're-
perform the best?
That's exactly it. All right, you ready for the next one?
But I feel like you made these questions harder as they go on.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm trying to keep them easy. I want to keep you in it.
Yeah.
According to Irish legend, St. Patrick used the shamrock as a metaphor for the Holy Trinity when he was first introducing the Christianity to Ireland. Legend says that each leaf of the clover has a meaning. 4 clovers. Hope, faith, love. And what's the 4th?
Hope, faith, love.
Dude, what's a 4-leaf clover for?
Hope, faith.
I left you the easiest word. What is a 4-leaf clover for? Or a 3-leaf clover?
Yeah,
What's
well,
a
you already gave me
4?
3.
Yeah, it's 4. There's 4 leaves on a clover.
Yes, you said. Why'd you say 3?
What when you get a 4-leaf clover, it's for
Hope, faith, love, and I'm gonna use a word, but it's not the right word. That's why I gotta rephrase.
if you found a 4-leaf clover on the ground and you put it in your wallet.
faith, love.
Why did you put it in your wallet? For
See, that's where I was going with. I was going to use the word promise, but that's not the word I'm using. Promise because wealth.
Luck, dude. Luck.
Fucking wealth.
Luck. It's a 4-leaf clover. It's for luck. It's for luck. It's all known for luck.
Do I believe in luck?
Well, obviously, you don't have enough 4-leaf clovers.
That's when luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
You're killing me, Steve.
I lost.
Now you don't get the sexy hat.
I lost.
I wanted to give you this hat so bad.
Can I buy it?
No. Only the think tankers at the back can buy it. I don't know if it's worth going on any further, but the reality is...
Ask me another question. One more.
Let's just see how many you can get. Here's the deal. We're going to make an amendment on the flip because I want my guy to get one of these hats. You're a restaurant guy. You're into meat. How familiar are you with the term corned beef? Excuse me. I told myself not to burp in this microphone, and I had a lot of green beer, folks. Okay.
I did not burp in the microphone.
I know. I screwed that up big time. Anyway, there isn't any corn in the traditional St. Patrick's Day meal of corned beef and cabbage. The name is a reference to what? Why is it called corned beef? Where does corn? What? There's no corn involved.
So the funny thing about that question, that's why I hire people to cook in the kitchen.
My dude's got his hood up, got the glasses. I'm going to rip off his face because he didn't earn them now. He's lost. Like he said at the beginning of this thing, they're going to be ripped off.
I admitted everything that was going to happen.
You would have thought I went to Mardi Gras for how many more beads I have than you.
You gave me the beads. I'm assuming that the cows eat a lot of corn.
So this goes back even before corn itself was a mass-produced item, before this salty, sweet treat that we know so well. The term corned means small pieces. So the reason it's called corned beef is because it's tiny pieces of beef. Right? Mind-blowing. Totally learned that today.
Our Reuben is not.
I anticipated you having a neck full of
pieces,
of beads, and this was going to be one that tripped you up. But you got blue and then dye.
I would love for the Rethink audience to answer why St. Patrick would be wearing blue.
No, where the green came from. Now that's worth Googling.
That is. That's why I said maybe that's where this whole song came from. Is St. Patrick wore blue, and I think it was Smash Mouth who produced that song, right? It was Smash Mouth. I believe that's who produced it. If I was green, I would die, because St. Patrick is promoting green, but he never wore green. The whole world assumed that he wore green because...
Dabba Dee Dabba Die is by Eiffel 65, not Smash Mouth.
But is that actually the song?
No, it's, if I was green, I would die, but it is in parentheses.
Dabba dee, dabba da, dabba dee, dabba da, dabba dee, dabba.
So how about this one? Do you want to know why green is associated with St. Patrick's? St. Patrick revelers thought wearing green made one invisible to leprechauns, fairies, creatures who would pinch anyone they could see. Bro, what? They would take DMT, meet the Clockwork Elves, who would just like pinch them all day, and they were like, I need to go cama. Give me a ghillie suit.
and folks, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I got all these answers right, because obviously that is not the case. However, this is why history...
He's not getting his green hat.
This is why history is important, is by what he's reading is very small things, but if you don't pay attention to history, it tends to repeat itself because people don't watch.
Dr. Fauci's How the Rona Stole Christmas. A green hat that Steve missed. Now, we gone way too late. Poor Steve wanted to get out of here a long time ago.
Oh, I'm not out of here.
No way. Anyway, You ready to celebrate? I hope you guys had a beautiful day. It's like 70 degrees today. It's St. Patrick's Day. I hope you get outside. Get some sun. I know that the government wants you to get inside and get the beautiful juice and just stay inside and be a potato all day. But, like, the reality is your best vaccine, Dr. Fauci ain't going to tell you this because he don't love you like the Rethink Tank do. But, like, get outside. Enjoy this beautiful day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you and your family. I hope you got some beer. Whether it's green or not is up to your feces the next day. It's no big deal. But I hope you enjoyed it. Steve, thank you for giving me your time. Shooting the shit with the boys.
Thank you. Thank you, Rethink audience, for having me. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome people. This guy's an awesome human being.
Check
Best
out the
friend
Creekside.
since,
Go to the Creekside restaurant.
Kindergarten. Come support me. Always have your back. Guys, just be happy.
So, Steve, where can they find you? Creekside?
Creekside Restaurant Bar, 8803 Brecksville Road. It's right in the center of Brecksville, Ohio.
And I'm telling you, the best food of any type you want.
Intersection of 82 and 21. Come see me. I'll take care of you folks. Just have a fun time in life, first and foremost. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon.
Hell yeah! Anyway, guys, happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for your time. If we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do to support this podcast is share this episode. Take that link, you hit the little share button, you copy the link, put it on your Facebook, put it on whatever. The best thing you could do to support this podcast, we gave you free entertainment for however long, made you laugh, we made you think, share the podcast.
Rethink Tank, baby.
That's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You can catch all of our content, all clips, cuts, and everything on the Rethink Tank website, www.rethinktankpodcast.com. Otherwise, guys, we'll catch you next time. Peace.